Hey folks,
What's
what
going
is going on?
on?
What's going on? Danny Boy, Bill's here. We welcome you into episode number 402, right here on the Sports Sanity podcast, live on the Sports Sanity Network's YouTube page, and of course, all across our podcast network. Please listen to us wherever you get your podcasts or watch us right here on YouTube.
Okay. Yes. What's going on here? Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy here. Danny Boy Reg, how you doing?
I'm all good, buddy. How's your weekend?
It was pretty good. Pretty damn good.
Mm.
Because I was at a certain event this weekend. We'll talk about that in a minute. I was at a certain game that was pretty high scoring.
Right.
We'll talk about that in a moment. Um, But yeah, welcome to episode 402 of the Sports Insanity podcast on the Sports Insanity Network. We got a lot to talk about today. We got some Major League Baseball to talk about. It was opening weekend. It was opening weekend. And we got the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight to talk about. Mostly the Elite Eight will be previewing the Final Four. So yeah, a lot to talk about today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
So, first of all, opening weekend was a success for our New York Yankees. They swept the Milwaukee Brewers, as most that I would have predicted. I didn't predict that, by the way. Um, Better than what I thought, and I'm excited. It's a good weekend when you can start your season off with the sweep. Yankees have a day off today, but it was awesome to watch that entire weekend, and great to see baseball back, Bill. It was really great to see baseball back in full swing, and it's going to be in our lives for the next 6 months.
Yep. So now our like I said, for the next 6 months, our mood is going to be affected about how our baseball teams do.
Yeah. Uh, well, all of our teams, but mostly baseball because it's the sport of the summer. So it's definitely something that we will look out for. It's a great time of year. But yeah, MLB had its opening weekend, um, and a lot of excitement brewing for our baseball team. As Friday was, offensively, what wasn't the greatest. Saturday and Sunday, however, sorry, Thursday. The opening day was Thursday. Saturday and
Ding.
Sunday, however, um, was um an absolute massacre of the Brewers.
Yep.
Massacre.
Oh, dude, calling them that a massacre is an insult to massacres. Bro, it was insane.
Bill Murphy was at the Saturday game, by
I
the way.
was. I was at the Saturday game. I was with JT Mahoney from Super Review Show and some other friends of ours,
Right.
including our very good friend Vinny Levant. No, not no wait, no, Vinny wasn't there. Never mind. But we still love you, Vinny. Um, we still love you, buddy. Um, so yeah, I was at the Saturday game. As I told you guys on Friday, I told you I was going on Saturday. I always go for the last 2 years, but this has become a new tradition. I always go opening weekend.
Yep.
And first, I gotta say, I told you this the other day. It was weird because at the game it was like 80 degrees. I was wearing shorts in March. I was wearing freaking shorts in March.
Isn't it great to wear that in March? Wear shorts and
Yeah, it's
feel
like almost
comfortable.
80 degrees. But when we
Yeah,
were getting on the train to go home, it was starting to get a little chilly with the wind. And then when we got back to where we were, it was freezing.
right.
So yeah, maybe wearing shorts wasn't the best idea. But
Yeah, but you know what? It was
and
warm. Right.
dumb ideas I've had that one's probably on the bottom. So so yeah, but anyway, the game, the first three pitches, I think for the first time in Major League Baseball history, the first three batters. The first three batters hit a home run on the first three pitches.
Yeah.
First
Well,
time in Major League Baseball
what's
history.
on the first three pitches? I mean, I
It
didn't.
was the first three pitches, yeah.
Wow.
Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and of course, all fucking rise,
Wow,
Aaron
that
Judge.
was pretty dope. That was
Aaron Judge hit three home runs in that game, one of them a grand slam.
yeah.
And I am honored to say I probably saw Aaron Judge have the best game of his career.
Yeah.
He was this close to getting number four. He was that close to getting number four.
It's some wild stuff. By the way, Paul Goldschmidt's bat, whenever he's done using it, it's going to go to Hall of Fame.
Really?
Um, yeah. They said that the leadoff home run started a string of Yankees homers on the first three pitches of the game as the Bronx Bombers blast nine total, obviously, setting a franchise record. So, uh, that because he was the first of the home runs, he's going to his bat's going to go to Hall of Fame eventually. Um, yeah, but nine home runs on Saturday for the Yankees, and
Most in franchise history in one
that
game.
that that's why it could have been 10 or 11 or 12 if Judge wanted it. Like if Judge really wanted to hit more home runs, he could have. Now he didn't, but he could have, right? So it was a wild day. Yankees put up a 20 spot on the Brewers. Now they gave up 9 runs. The with the combination of Max Fried, who was horrible. Let's be honest, like Max Fried was horrible. Um, on
Yeah.
on
He
Saturday, the bullpen was no better. They gave up 9 runs total, but the Yankees bats, it was just tremendous. The hitting was just all over the place. Everyone was getting into the party. So 20 runs.
I think this was the first time I want to say the first six batters all had home runs.
Right. First six
Chisholm.
batters.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Hmm. That's interesting. I didn't see that, but I saw the 9 home runs and the the 3 home runs on 3 pitches, which again, yeah, I didn't watch it. I was too busy focusing on cherry blossom season here in DC. So I didn't
Oh,
watch
okay.
the
Oh, so
game.
the Yankees are probably having one of the best games in a while, and you're looking at cherry blossoms.
Sure, it's great. You don't understand. The cherry blossoms in DC are
I remember
pretty
being
big.
there during cherry blossom season like years ago. They're beautiful.
Yeah, it is a beautiful time.
And you know what? That's okay. It was a gorgeous. You had a beautiful day for it.
Well, it was in the 80s all weekend. Not too humid, which is great for me.
Oh yeah, me too. But it was
Um,
like is like here's the thing. Here's the thing.
yeah,
It's like, but it was like weird here yesterday though. 80 degrees. It was 80 degrees on Saturday, but when I got home, it was probably like in the 40s. And yesterday, it was probably like in the 40s and 50s. So,
right. Oh,
welcome to upstate New York, where you'll experience all four seasons in just a matter of days, whether
mm,
you want to or not. But anyway, and then the Sunday game, Jazz Chisholm hit two home runs,
yep. Aaron Judge got another one into the party, so he has 4 home runs on the season. And then,
and people are already saying 63.
I mean, people are saying
Too early.
70.
What was that?
People are saying 70.
I'm like, listen, I get why they're having this conversation because, Judge got off to a slow start last year. We can all agree.
Yeah,
We can all agree. This was getting off to a slow start.
yeah.
Um, and he still hit like what, 58 home runs last year? But if he's doing this, if he's hitting four home runs in the first three games,
Right.
bro, bro,
Isn't that wild?
If he continues this pace, could we be looking at 60? Could we be looking at 63? Could we be
I still
looking
say
at
70.
70? Dude, could we maybe be looking at 74?
Let's see.
Like, could we have a new? Oh, what's up? Could we could we have a new single season home run leader? Could Aaron Judge be the guy this year? We're gonna have to wait and see. So yeah, and Jazz Chisholm, he's getting off to a good start in the first three games, having three home runs, and Reg is back.
Sorry about that. I had to deal with something real quick. Yes. Big day for Yankees. Not only were they able to, I was literally about to say this before I was interrupted by my stupid ass phone. Um, Not only did they score via the home run, but they manufactured runs too. They got on base, people stole, they were sacrifices. Like there was all the elements necessary to win to score runs and win a game. That and also Stroman, who look Stroman, we're not expecting much out of him, but he went 4 and 2/3, and kept the Brewers quiet, and the bullpen was just lights out. They had, I mean, besides the Saturday game, the bullpen actually had a terrific game, terrific weekend. That is. Um, so overall, great weekend for the Yankees. They, like the Dodgers, like the Padres, are undefeated to start the season.
Wow, isn't that crazy, bro?
Mhm. Yeah, I believe the Cardinals too. The Cardinals had a good weekend too. Um,
But now
Insane.
let me tell you, when those home runs were going off,
Yeah.
bro, it was crazy.
hmm I can't imagine that. I mean, I would have loved to see that live. 3 pitches, you get 3 home runs. I mean, that come on now.
Let me uh, let me tell you how it was. You ready? Pitch one when Goldschmidt hit it. Crowd is, of course, going crazy. And they go, woohoo! This is how we're starting. Pitch two, which was Bellinger. We haven't even calmed down from the Goldschmidt home run. And we're like, "Yay." And then when Judge, guess what? People are like waving their beers. We're getting a beer bath. I'm like, thinking, okay, don't do that. That beer was like $15.
It was a lot of money. Um, yeah, of course, they went crazy once Judge hit the home run. Um, yeah, it's insane. It is wild, wild to see that on um on highlights and stuff. Um, Thank you, Nestor Cortez.
I kind of feel bad. I
I
kind of feel
don't.
bad for
No,
him a
no,
little
no, no,
bit.
no, no. I don't. I don't. Look, he's a nice guy. He was a good Yankee. We appreciate it. I don't feel bad. Sorry.
Because I was talking to this guy when I was online to get a beer, actually
Mhm.
during the third Judge home run. But anyway, we were talking about Nestor Cortez, and this guy's name is Jeff, and I told him about our podcast, and he's now subscribing. So Jeff, if you are watching,
Mhm.
welcome to the chaos.
Appreciate you.
But anyway, so Jeff tells me he's like, you know what this is like? This is like shitting your pants at your in front of your ex-girlfriend. If you're Nestor Cortez, this is like the equivalent of shitting your pants in front of your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's kind of right. What do
Don't
you
suck
think?
though. If you're as good as you say you are, get Aaron Judge out. You didn't do it.
And my dad was saying, like, oh, people shouldn't be making fun of Nestor. He was a fan
No,
favorite.
keep making fun of Nestor. No, we can't.
But hey, him, we can make fun of him to a lesser extent of than someone else.
Hmm.
Oh, you know who we're talking about.
By the way, he still had swung at a horrible pitch from Josh Hader.
So, Uncle Stevie, you liking your new outfielder there?
Yeah,
Listen,
you'll
we're
get
only 3 games in, folks.
yeah.
Like, there's
But
still a lot of
by the
time
way,
for him.
he did hit a bomb the next night, so it's like so hopefully Met fans will. They have their home opener today.
Friday. On Friday.
No, their home opener.
I think it might be. Are you sure it's
Mets
today?
were on the road. They were in Houston first
I
three
think
games.
their home opener might be on Friday.
Their home opener is not today. It might be Friday.
No, yeah, tomorrow they're playing 2 games in Miami tomorrow
Okay.
and Wednesday.
So my bad. I thought their home opener was today. Well,
And
either way, their home opener is this week.
their home opener is on they open on Friday against the Blue Jays.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
What you gonna do?
That's kind of weird. I don't like starting the season on the road, like having long road trips before
I
you
don't either.
go
I don't
home. Like
either.
that's kind of weird.
What you gonna do though, buddy? What you gonna do?
Yeah. By the way, Mets are 1-2 on the season. Um, they did not have a good weekend in Houston. They did not. Um, but yeah. By the way, Bill, have you been following the torpedo bats that
A
the
little bit. Like they're calling for investigations now.
no, 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 these are just bitter fans that don't understand how it works. Um, by the way, this is not just the Yankees. This is a bunch of other teams. But essentially, there's these new bats that a lot of the Yankees have been using it, where they move the wood towards the middle, where like the logo is, to like
Yeah.
the middle of the barrel, so that let's say you get a little jammed in, that the ball will still be struck well if you hit the ball, no matter where you hit it. So it's like I got shaved. My beard is itching too much. But but yeah, and, the whole purpose, and this was what the Yankees were thinking. And by the way, this is not just the Yankees thinking it. This has been in the works for a long time. So the idea, once again, ball better struck, um, depending on where your sweet spot is. And they were doing studies on like where the sweet spot is, and then they adjust these bats specifically for that player. So yeah, it's it's very innovative. It's legal by MLB standards. The baseball says it's perfectly fine to use. But of course, given that the Yankees hit 1 trillion home runs over the weekend, people are very skeptical about these bats. And like Bill said, a lot of fans are calling for MLB to look into the matter, even though MLB already said that the bats are perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with them. So then you're arguing about nothing, essentially.
Yeah,
And
why
you're
do I
just
think these are people just fighting about stupid, meaningless
well,
crap?
no, they hate the Yankees, so anything that can go against the Yankees, they'll put it up there. By the way, like I told you folks, it's not just the Yankees using it. Last time I checked, give me 1 second here. Last
Give
time
you
I
two.
checked, Nico Horner of the Cubs also used it. Boom, right there.
Yeah. So you know what? Let me
Wanna know
ask
who
you,
also used it?
who used it?
Tampa Bay Rays also using it. Ryan Jeffers, where's he at? Also using it.
So do you think this is just a witch hunt because it's the Yankees?
There's no actual investigation happening. This is just fans being dumbasses.
No, but do you think the fans are just calling for it because it's the Yankees?
Yes.
No, because Reg, I 100% agree with you. If you're if other teams are using it, why are the Yankees so special?
Right. But also like, it's nothing new. This is not something the Yankees just created overnight. This is a community that has been talking about this. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
this is a community of, you have to understand, baseball is way more numbers heavy and everything studied well than ever before, right? People actually look into the numbers. This is why, teams have analytics departments, right?
Yes.
So this was heavily studied, especially on the Yankees side. They're specifically, I think Michael Kay brought up the example of Anthony Volpe, and where his sweet spot was. So like, this is being heavily studied by analytics departments everywhere. So the fact of the matter is, this has been talked about for a long time now. And the fact that, people are only focused on the Yankees just goes to show you how much people really hate the Yankees.
No, I absolutely agree with you.
Right.
It was, and now I think people are just getting way too butthurt about this because say it with me, Reg, it's the Yankees.
Yeah. Like it's okay if you don't like the Yankees. That's fine. Like you don't have to. Whatever. You know. But, do your research.
Do your research, folks.
And when another player, like a Nico Horner, like a Ryan Jeffers, from the Twins and Cubs respectively. Um, when they use those type of bats, call it out unless you don't want to, because
Yeah.
it's legal to use.
Yeah, I think people are just getting way too butthurt about this. Listen, I didn't see Batter Up yesterday. Did you and Mike and Mark talk about this?
Yeah, yeah. Mark called it a controversy. It's not a controversy. There's
It
nothing
isn't.
controversial about it.
And what did Mike have to say?
Well, I mean, it's I forget what he had to say. Go back to batter up. If we had a whole conversation. Essentially, what we're saying is that the look they're the new innovative bats. Looking to help the quality of the hits. Obviously, um, Mark thinks there's going to be an investigation. That there's no need for an investigation because MLB already talked about it. They think it's okay. Um, and all I say is that it's not controversial, and I think every team should do it. Is it a problem for me to say every team should do it? No.
No, I don't think it is a problem at all, Reggie. Then Papa found out and they started the investigation. It's against the law.
In any case.
But anyway, so yeah, we
But by the way,
present
Aaron Judge did not use the torpedo bat and struck 4 home runs. So
we
you know.
proudly present stupid people complaining about stupid things.
There's people literally when the Yankees, all the highlights I saw about the torpedo bats were Aaron Judge highlights. Ironically, he was not using any of those bats. So it's like,
Well, he
okay.
didn't use any of the bats, so stupid people complaining about stupid things. So,
Yeah, you're complaining about nothing. That's what it is. You're complaining about nothing.
yeah, so that's that controversy. I'm using controversy in air quotes.
Yeah.
So yeah, others for the weekend Saturday. We just talked about the Yankees. Angels beating the White Sox 1-0 on Saturday. Cardinals beating the Twins 5-1. Orioles beating the Jays 9-5 for service and devotion. Phillies beating the Nats 11-6. Sorry, Patchy. Rockies beating the Rays 2-1. Marlins beating the Pirates 5-4. Rangers, Reds beating the Giants 3-2. Royals beating the Guardians 4-3. Rangers beating the Sox 4-3. Astros beating the Mets on Saturday 2-1. Padres beating the Braves 1-0. Cubs beating the D-backs 4-3. And A's beating the Mariners 4-2. For Sunday, like we just said, the Yankees beat the Brewers 12-3. Sorry, Patchy. Nats beating the Phillies 5-1. Jays beating the O's 3-1. Rays beating the Rockies 6-4. Marlins beating the Pirates 3-2. Giants beating the Reds 6-3. Angels beating the White Sox 3-2. Guardians beating the Royals 6-2. Cardinals beating the Twins 9-2. Rangers beating the Sox 3-2. D-backs beating the Cubs 10-6. Did the Mets not play yesterday?
No, the Mets didn't play yesterday.
No, okay.
I think Rifkin said something about they wanted the Apple TV game to be the first Apple TV Friday game to feature Juan Soto, so they moved the one of the games back. So that's why they had a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday series, and then they had a rare Sunday off.
Speaking of Juan Soto, let's just say on Saturday, the good people of the Bronx let their feelings known.
Mm. Yeah.
No, they were chanting, I think after Judge hit, I think it was the Grand Slam, the whole crowd, F Juan Soto,
But
F Juan
why?
Soto.
Why though? Like that's not going to change anything. You know, just play the game. Who cares?
I think it wasn't even that I got in on it, but now I'm thinking about it, dude. It's like they're just rubbing it into the ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, you're butthurt. Like I get it. Who cares? He's not on our team anymore. We don't have to worry about him until we play
And
him, obviously. But
until May 16th, 17th, and 18th, when the Mets come to town.
you know, who cares?
Oh, you know that crowd is gonna let their feelings
Now,
known.
during that Mets series, of course you can scream whatever the fuck you want, but during the series against the Brewers, I'm sorry, man. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
listen, it's mob mentality. I got in on it, but now I'm thinking, you know what? Why are we chanting this now?
like
If we
you
were playing the
save,
Mets,
save your anger. Save your anger.
oh, I guarantee you, some of those fans are gonna give him the Bronx cheer, and
Yeah.
not the good Bronx cheer.
Mhm. Well, I mean, the poor soul's gonna be in right field, right?
Oh, I'm sure those people are gonna be. I'm sure the good people of the Bronx are gonna be giving him
I don't.
some beer
He-
cans.
He's gonna hate Yankee fans. Some,
You know, it's just a big change. If you go back to October, the fans were chanting, "Resign Soto,"
yeah,
and now that Juan Soto. What a big change that was. And when the Mets come to town in May, you less than 6 months ago were standing in that field and that crowd was chanting to have you re-signed.
right.
And now they're throwing beer cans at you. I hope they don't throw beer cans at them.
No, I think Yankee fans are more classier than that. Or at least I think. I don't know.
Listen, this is coming from a diehard Yankee fan. I think we give them a little much credit than they deserve sometimes.
Mhm.
No, remember, I went to that game a couple years ago when they were throwing the beer cans at Steve Kwan.
Yeah, that was bad. That
I
that
was
was
there. I was at the game. I didn't
that
throw anything, I promise.
that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah, I was at that game.
But I mean that's just a one-off experience. I mean that, and we can talk about 2004, but like I don't remember any time really where the Yankee fans, besides that, has shown. I mean, of course, you're going to have fans that will yell at you, scream at you, but that's just words. Never trying to hurt somebody like that. That's no.
Um, So anyway, um, yeah. So what a crazy weekend in the Bronx. Sorry, it was mainly Yankee focused, but what a crazy weekend!
Hmm.
Historic game. That was probably the craziest game I've been to.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
And you want to know something? The game was a blowout, but it wasn't. Listen, I've been to blowouts where I am like literally so bored I can't stand it.
I mean, I've been to
But
Mets.
this was not one of those blowouts that was
Have you
so
ever been to
boring.
a
Like,
Mets blowout where
are
the
they
Mets are
doing the
playing the
blowout or are
team?
they getting blown
No,
out?
no, 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 no. I've been to more blowouts where the Mets have absolutely, you know what, it was so bad.
And you just want to
Oh my
leave.
God. Yeah, no, I mean, look, of course, I bought a ticket, so I'm not gonna leave. But man, are those games fucking boring.
Because I'm going to I think I told you in May, I'm actually going to be in Pittsburgh. I'm going to a Pirates game
Right,
because I heard PNC Park is supposed to be gorgeous.
right. I mean, I'm sure it is.
And
It's a small ballpark, I can tell, but like, yeah, I'm sure it's nice.
but I'll tell you this though. If the game, okay, let's say if you're at a, okay, Mets, you kind of have a dog in the fight because we are New Yorkers. So, like, I've gone to two Met games and I rooted for the Mets.
Sure.
I would root for the Mets as long as they're not playing the Yankees.
Um,
But if you're at like a random team, like, listen, I'm going to see the Pirates play the Braves. I'm going to see the Pirates play the Braves. If the game's a blowout, I don't know if I'm going to stay because I really don't have a dog in the fight here, you know?
yeah.
I really don't have a dog in the fight. So I don't know how do you feel if you went to a random team, a random stadium, and they're playing a team that you really don't give a rat's you know what about, and they're going up against a team you don't give a rat's you know what about. Are you really gonna like be that invested?
No, but I'll stay. I'll watch the game though.
Hey, it's baseball.
Yeah. One thing I like doing visiting other ballparks is seeing their ballpark traditions, like all
Yes.
that stuff. Like that's important to me.
Like, when I went to Fenway last year, it was pretty cool to be part of the Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
That was pretty damn cool.
Yeah, little Sweet Caroline. We love that.
And I was singing it. I was in my Yankee jersey.
Yeah.
Come on,
Singing a masterpiece from a New Yorker. Of course you guys sing Sweet
and
Caroline.
Yeah, Neil Sedaka's from Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Oh, Neil Diamond's from Brooklyn. Why did I say Sedaka? Okay,
So
but Neil Diamond's from Brooklyn.
yeah.
And yeah, you know who the song is actually about?
Um, was it his child or something?
No, it's actually about Caroline Kennedy.
Oh wow, I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's actually, since the Kennedys are from Boston,
Right.
the song is about Caroline Kennedy.
Mm.
Sweet Caroline. But no, I know what you mean, being part of like the different traditions, like how in Camden Yards during the seventh inning stretch, they do take me out to the ball game, and then they do the song "Thank God I'm a Country Boy" by John Denver.
Mhm.
Well, that was pretty cool.
Or at Nats Park they do Take on Me.
Oh, by Aha.
Yeah,
Aha!
exactly.
Do do
They
do do
also
do do
they
do do
also
do.
at some point we wave our hats over at Nats Park to salute the veterans
That's always good.
because there's always veterans at the game. So yeah,
And or how at City Field when they do the I think in the eighth inning they do
it, um,
the like eighth inning like the karaoke.
So that they also do at City Field. They do the Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Lazy Mary, um, and all that stuff. You've heard Lazy Mary before.
I think so, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know when I went to when they did the eighth inning like karaoke,
Yeah.
the two times I went, and this is like the weirdest thing because the audience, they get to text in what choice of the song you're given three options.
Yeah.
And the first time, this was the most unusual choice. The three choices were Piano Man by Billy Joel,
It's always a thing.
Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi,
Okay.
and Stacy's Mom by Fountains of Wayne.
How would you say Stacey's mom?
Stacy's Mom won.
Yeah. How could it not?
Like that was
That's a
so
great karaoke.
unusual. That's what
That's a great karaoke song, Stacy's mom.
I'm like thinking. Stacy's Mom beat Bon Jovi and the Piano Man.
Yeah, but every Piano Man's on every day on the New York radio. So it's like, you know,
The second time I went there, I think it was but I know they chose Piano Man. And the one time I was gonna go with them, but I got sick, so I couldn't go. It was Mr. Brightside by the Killers, and I was very
of
upset.
course, that's a great one too.
I was very upset that I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah,
No, I love the Killers. I've seen them in concert. They're amazing.
I believe it.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, sorry we talked about baseball a little too much here. We just dragged on here. We apologize, but
So I mean, look, we're excited because it's back.
yes, I
That's what it
know.
is. No, we're excited that it's here, and that we could actually watch the games again. You know, we miss baseball when it's in the off season. Look, we're grateful for football. I'm grateful for basketball, but man, do I miss the diamond. I miss everything about it. So it's good to have back in our lives for the
Like,
next 7 months. And um, we'll have all of the baseball coverage here on the network, whether it's batter up or bombers banter or
or
here.
here on SIP.
We'll talk about it. Anything newsworthy that pops up, we'll talk about it,
Yes, we will.
and we'll keep you posted all season long. And it's a long season. You just never know what may come next.
And then we have, yeah. So we go from the diamond to the hardwood. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8 happened this
Yeah,
week again. But ladies and gentlemen, we have our Final Four.
all number one seeds in the Final Four.
We have our, folks, we have our Final Four for the second time in history. All final, all number one seeds are in the Final Four. We got Florida and Auburn, which will be the
That-
609 game.
That's a huge one for me. I need Auburn to win. I'm in a money pool, Bill, and a bunch of them have Florida. I have Auburn. I'm gonna need Auburn to win. Just
I'm in,
win.
I'm in a money pool too, and the second game is Houston and Duke. Houston
That's gonna
and
be a good
Duke.
one. This is gonna be a good Final Four. It's an interesting Final Four. We usually don't see number one seeds go at it, right?
No,
Well,
we really don't.
it guarantees us that one, there's going to be a number one seed winner in the national championship. So, that's one thing. But it's no, it's interesting because all four of them they got out of their respective regions and are now competing uh for the Big Time Championship. I like it. I know people think it's kind of boring. I like it. I want to see the top dogs go at it and see who's the real big time number one.
Let me tell you, I never picked okay, like I told you when we were here last on Friday, I picked the four number ones the first time it happened in 2008.
Right.
But I didn't pick it this year because it's just kind of boring to pick all four number ones. But now
Yeah.
I think having it happen is more exciting than picking it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
They're four good teams. They've been good all season. Like, yeah, man to man. Let's make it work.
Yeah, I hope Houston beats Duke because they were the only one of my final four I have left.
Yeah.
And I'm in a money pool as well. So,
Well, here's the thing. I need Auburn not only to win their final four game, but to win the championship.
oh, me too with Houston. So if it's Houston versus Auburn, dude,
Mhm.
one of us is gonna win our money pool.
Oh my God.
One of us is gonna win our money pool.
Where's my bracket ranked? Hold up. I haven't checked my bracket in a while. I checked out the second St. John's was because that completely ruined everything.
Oh yeah, the you
Um
and hundreds of other people, if
yeah.
not thousands of other people.
Yeah. By the way, I had Kentucky going to the national championship, and of course that completely backfired.
It
Um,
completely backfired.
let's see. Standings. So I'm still ranked 15th, but that's because a bunch of people have Florida and Duke. So, and then of course, one of my friends had Michigan State. Yeah, a bunch of people have Florida and Duke. So if Auburn wins and then Houston wins, I need Auburn just to get that national title. And baby, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be
So
fantastic.
unfortunately, I will be rooting against Duke. You know,
No, hey, you don't have to apologize to me for rooting against Duke.
you know.
I think what Duke is for basketball is like what Alabama is for football in college sports.
Um, they're definitely one of the big powerhouses for sure, especially when they had Coach K. When they had Coach K, it was certainly a big thing.
And you know what actually is actually pretty nice, and no disrespect to Coach K, great coach, but
Yeah,
all four of the coaches here, if either of them win, it would be their first time winning the tournament
that is pretty dope.
as a head coach. You know what? I have respect for Coach K and Roy Williams from UNC, but you know what? It's good to see some new blood. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah,
It's good to see some new blood. It's really good to see some new blood win. So let's hope that happens, you know?
yeah.
So yeah, final four. We'll give you further preview slash predictions on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, this tournament's been crazy.
Mm-hmm. It has been a crazy tournament.
This
Um,
tournament's been insane.
yeah, it has been really crazy. A lot of back and forth. A lot of great games. I have to say, a lot of great games. Um, but ultimately, I think like as much as obviously we wanted the outcomes to be much different, the right teams are in the pool. They're in the final four and they're ready to battle it out. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be great. Final four is Saturday, right?
Yep.
Saturday, final
This
four,
Saturday,
and
first
then
game is at
a Monday.
6:09.
Yeah, and then the Monday championship. Go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry I cut you off.
First game is at 6:09. Second game is at 8:49.
Okay. there might be a delay depending on what happens in the games. But
No,
yeah.
absolutely. And I let's go, Houston. Come on, win me some money here, Houston. Win me some money. Win me some money here. But if Auburn wins, Reg, I congratulate you if that happens because you get some money. If it's an Auburn versus Houston championship, one of us get money,
Right.
and we're not even in the same pool. Okay, so before we go, a little NFL winter meetings news or league meetings news, Reggie.
Yeah, just a quick thing. Um as everyone knows, the Green Bay Packers recently proposed to ban the so-called tush push, or as I call it, the brotherly shove, because it's mostly used by the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, of course, the tush push has become really hard to guess, like, what to do with it for defenses and stuff. So, um, but recently, um, not only has the Green Bay Packers proposed a ban, they're actually getting more and more people within the competition community to support the ban. And that's important. Again, I don't know how far it will go with the owners. I don't know, ultimately where it's going to end up, but or how they're going to have what the results are going to be, as I should say. But the fact that it's growing in support is actually big. And Bill, I don't care for the tush push. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't, you don't. Um, but the fact of the matter is that it is a hard thing to defend. And if teams feel like it's an unfair advantage to the offense, then maybe you do have to ban it.
I don't think it should be banned, but I just hate hearing the word tush push.
Yeah. I'm more annoyed that teams aren't doing it more. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a good offense, if you know your team has the ability to block in those short yarded situations, don't you think it would benefit you to help out your quarterback, right?
No, I agree.
So just throwing it out there. I get why people are upset, but just use it. Just do it. If the Eagles are doing it, if the Buffalo Bills are doing it, like, anything to do it. So, but I understand why they would want to ban it and stuff. It is very hard to defend. It is very hard.
I think people are I think people are just getting sick of hearing the words tush push.
Well, that too. That's why I call it the brotherly shove.
Well, did you see there was this wedding party? I guess they're all Eagle fans.
Yeah.
And the groom side, the best man and the groomsman, they all did like the brotherly shove on the dance floor. And somebody said Nick Sirianni would be proud.
Hey.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. Um, but yeah, no, I don't think it should be banned. I don't care. Like, either learn how to defend it better, or if you can't defend it, try it yourself.
Is the tush push going to become the new Super Bowl shuffle?
I mean, why not? Super Bowl Shuffle, Philly Special. Like, there's a lot of different plays that have happened over the years, right?
I know, right? But who knows? Is it still going to be legal? Is the question.
Yeah, I'm interested. The more it's gaining in support, that would be something to think about if you're Philly, if you're Buffalo. Those are the two teams that use it on a regular basis, that type of play. So that's something that I would definitely look into. Like if you're one of those teams.
I can agree. All right. So tush push. Will it still be legal? Most likely.
Yeah, the owners are meeting this week, I believe. They're at there's the owners meetings, the NFL's. So, um, interesting.
All right. So I think that's pretty much it for today.
Yeah. Um, Great to have baseball back in our lives. We have a
Yes, it
big,
is.
big college basketball weekend coming up. And then before you know, NBA playoffs are here. So
Hey, we
um
got a lot coming up.
Knicks locked up their spot. So I'm pumped up about that. They also won on Sunday, so that was awesome. And if like what you see, you could subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification button, and you'll be notified whenever there's a new video posted or when we go live. So please, please follow the YouTube. And then, of course, listen wherever you get your podcast. For all you listeners out there, thank you for listening to us. Um, you can also log on to our website, thesportsnetwork.com. We have a lot of stuff going on with our blogs.
Yes, we
So
do.
can
We
continue to
got,
read them. It's mostly Old Ops Guy and Rifkin, maybe sometimes Patch and sometimes Bill. But I don't know if Bill has an active blog right now, but
I do. I just haven't touched it in a while. I've been busy with stuff. And
yeah.
I got a vlog that I'm planning on doing.
Okay. You'll find it here on the YouTube page.
And also, we got the NFL draft coming up. So you're going to see some
Yeah.
stuff about.
By the way, are you interested in doing a mock draft
I'd be
live
interested.
here?
I'm down. Let me know when.
Yeah. We'll
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 talk
talk
off air.
about.
That's an off-air discussion.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
All right. So from all of this has been episode 402 of the Sports Insanity Podcast.
Yeah.
From
Right
all of
here.
us here, stay safe and take care. I'm Bill
Oh,
Corpus Crispy Murphy.
Danny Boy Reg. Follow our socials. We love you. Bye.